Whoa, hold up.
So this is the reaction that I recall having to Malort in a way. When it just because my palate, if you will, is very attuned and almost negatively to bitter. And this really hit me there.
You know, I'm getting this really intense honey from it. Super intense honey. Like I just bit into a honeycomb. Thank you for tuning in to episode 14 of the Sultan of Slow Drip.
Are we episode 14?
We are, yes.
I've watched 5.
All
the way through. All the way through.
5 episodes.
All the way through.
I'm your host, the Sultan of Slow Drip, not joined with Victor Chan, but instead with Chicago's very own Sean Lewis. For the 2 or 3 people out there who don't know you, Sean, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, my name is Sean. I'm a Taurus. I work at WGN. I'm a morning anchor, which makes coffee my number one friend. And how I know you so well is because I love Kyoto Black.
He's constantly on the Slow Drip IV of Kyoto Black and was very kind enough during his visit to Hawaii to bring me back some of the good.
It was so good.
What we got there?
So good. So we visited Greenwell Farms, and you can correct me because you might not know this, or you might know this. Greenwell was like the first, like the original, the OG Kona coffee
farm. Yep.
Farm. And you said, because I messaged you and I said, hey, I'm in Kona, and we're going to go to a farm, I think, and you said go to Greenwell.
Yeah. So
I'd never been.
Yeah.
And you said make sure to get the medium roast. This is what you wanted.
He said, what do you want for yourself? And I was like, yeah, give me the medium roast because I know what the good stuff is. And then he got some other stuff, this great sampler here with all kinds of crazy pea berry and macadamia flavor.
Now, pea berry was funny because it sounds funny.
It does sound a little
And it
funny.
used to, from what it was explained to me at Greenwell, they used to throw them out because they thought the pea berries were a mistake.
Yeah, well, it is a genetic anomaly.
Okay.
So basically, I can give you a little coffee 101 here.
Yeah.
Or I guess this would be 102 because it's a little bit more advanced. But basically, a pea berry is a deformity that happens in coffee when typically that coffee bean, which is 2 beans that sit flat against each other, and they both are round on the other side, where basically almost like a parasitic twin, one of those sucks all the nutrients from the other, and it becomes one round bean with like a little straggler, just like that malformed small bean stuck to it. So people think that pea berry is more prized because it basically has absorbed the nutrients that would be given to 2 seeds in 1 seed. So that's the whole idea behind the
like
pea
the
berry.
phantom twin.
It is. It's like that little stuck to you can join guy.
Like, why do you have a mouth on your abdomen? That's so weird.
I know, right? We got some of that medium roast here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pour it up for you now.
You just did a pour over on that, right?
Yeah, so
I know
off
this
camera.
because you did,
Yeah, I did a V60 of this, and we're gonna check it out.
Do you smell this like wine?
Yeah, I can give you a little run through on how we do this. So basically, what I like to do is first I will put my hand kind of over it, like I'm playing a harmonica almost.
Okay.
And then I breathe in through my nose and mouth at the same time.
You know what? We just had a guest on with wine today, and I asked her, and she didn't know. Like I said, do you sniff? Do you sniff the wine with your mouth open or closed? And she said, I don't either.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely with the mouth
But it's
open.
because I've watched you that, you said open.
Exactly, because you want to have that turbulence in the retronasal cavity. So you want double airflow so there's more opportunities for that to hit your olfactory nerve. So
love that. Okay.
Let's do it. So
So what are we smelling for?
So we're smelling for any sort of like, I would say herbaceousness is what typically you get.
Okay.
Like you just, whatever's there is like kind of what you find. Some coffees, they're fruity. Some are more kind of chocolatey. One thing about Kona is because the native plants that were transported to Kona were from Brazil.
Okay.
You tend to get more like earthiness, chocolatey. You get spice as well.
Yeah,
you get a ton of spice.
I don't smell a lot of fruit in this.
No. You can find some vanilla in some of these coffees, but typically what I get is spice and licorice even. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Salute.
Cheers.
There we go. Oh, see, I didn't slurp.
Oh. Well, you have a second chance to.
Take 2. Oh, that is enough to make a Foley guy absolutely proud. That is a slurp among slurps, my friend.
What are you getting out of it?
It's like I can taste some chocolate notes.
Uh huh.
Pardon me. It's kind of, there's some bitter notes in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So the bitterness to me is very pithy. When I say pithy, I mean like the white part of a fruit. Like, so
Sure.
when you peel the citrus, you get that pith, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like lemon pith.
Okay.
Or even pomegranate pith. Like the white bits in between the little pomegranate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they call those
no,
guys.
I know.
Yeah. So I get
the white
that.
area, you typically don't want it.
Yeah, you don't necessarily want to just eat a bowl of it, but it does have a sort of characteristic that's very nice, you know?
Mom, can I have a bowl of pith?
You didn't finish your pith yesterday.
We still have some pith left over.
Right. We got pith at home, right? I also get toffee. Like lemon toffee.
Lemon toffee.
Yeah,
I've never had lemon toffee.
me neither.
before.
But this is probably what it tastes
We have to
like.
go to the boardwalk for that.
Actually, that reminds me of a coffee. I think it was a coffee me and Victor had on one of the previous episodes that tasted like stewed lemons. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, I've never had stewed lemons, but I imagine this is what they would taste like. And it's kind of got a little bit of that going on.
I like it though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't usually like bitter.
Well, it's not like super.
Like a Campari bitter.
Yeah.
Not for me.
No, it's
This
not
is-
like
this
super
is-
bitter.
This is toffee bitter.
Exactly.
Like you kept the toffee on the stove an extra 30 seconds. There's a little bit of burntness there to it.
And I think that's just the characteristic of it. These plants being from Brazil, you know, that for whatever reason, the plants that really were more cultivated in Brazil, typically were of the more robust, like variety. Not robusta.
Okay.
They're Arabica
Right.
beans,
They're Arabica
but the
beans,
flavor is much bolder.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just what people are used to. You know.
So this is, I mean, does the water make a difference? Like
I mean, it
purified
makes
water,
it
tap
makes a
water?
ton of difference. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to use water that has a certain mineral composition.
Okay.
Chicago water is actually really great as it stands.
Is it?
Just out of the faucet, you need to put it through a filter to bump down the mineral levels.
Okay.
But the actual minerals themselves are in the right ratio.
Good.
They're in the right balance to each other. They're just like, it's a little too hard.
Yeah.
So you use a filter just to bump that down.
Sure.
And then depending on where you are, some people complain about their chlorine content in the city. But my water out of the faucet, I don't taste chlorine from it so much. But
I never do either.
yeah, I mean, so
The dogs never complained. Now, I bought this one too.
yeah.
This is the private reserve, and this was more expensive than this one.
Wait, which one was more expensive?
This one was more expensive.
Okay, yeah.
So this was this I imagine is do they use a mix here, and then this is, I don't understand.
So the private reserve, as far as I can tell, is just from a different sublot within the farm
Okay,
itself.
yeah.
And you know, maybe we can send this to Greenwell and they can give us the rundown about that. But
I should have paid attention on the tour.
yeah, right. You took the tour. But yeah, my guess would be is that's from a particular sublot. That's a common practice. Is you create this lot that's separated from everything else, and you give those plants a little extra attention.
I was intrigued because they have these. They call them the grandma plants.
Right.
And those are the ones that were planted, the original ones that were planted in 1900.
Yeah.
By Mr. Greenwell.
Yep. Henry Greenwell.
Henry Greenwell. It's on the thing. By his grandma.
Nice.
So they call them the grandma plants.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they're still fruiting.
Yeah, probably not much.
but
fruit
not as
coming
much,
off. Yeah, they're getting a little
So maybe they just,
menopausal.
after 120 years.
Yeah, right. Finally,
You know,
setting in.
sometimes grandma's going to slow down.
But it's actually funny that you mentioned this because I do have some of that for us to taste. I
All
just
right.
need to grab it.
Sure. So have you been to Greenwell Farms before?
No, I haven't.
So this was, it was amazing that you made that. Like no hesitation. I said, which one should I go to? He goes, go to Greenwell. So we went, and it was really it was a fun little trip down the highway there, and then you go up, and it's a little bit elevated, obviously,
Yeah.
And it's up the coast or down the coast, and then you go up, but. It's just a cute place, and it's a working farm. So it's not like I went to a coffee plantation in Kauai coffee, and it was almost like Disney World.
Oh, it was like touristy out and
It was touristy.
Okay.
And this one,
like spinning coffee cups instead of teacups, the kind of deal.
yeah, it was. It seemed like a theme park for coffee. Really.
Okay.
It was clean. It was pleasant.
Okay.
But when you go to a coffee farm, it's like you go to
You're like, where's the manure? Like, yeah.
You want to go to the farm and see how it's done. And it wasn't necessarily pretty, but by gosh, they make some good coffee.
Well, we're about to try some more. They're really good coffee. So I got the medium roast. These are made Kyoto style, and I just threw them in my bottles so I could just plug myself. No. But here's the medium roast that we did before. I'm going to pour that into the same cup just because that's the same coffee. And then we got the private reserve as well. And that's going to be here.
Okay.
So remember which one is which.
Yeah.
They have a slightly different appearance.
Okay.
And I'm going to set these up on the table like this just so I'll keep my medium.
Oh, the smell
here,
is much different.
And I'll keep my private over here. So
keep your private to yourself. You know, the aroma on this is different.
Oh yeah. What are you picking up on it?
This it smells, and I could be totally wrong on this because I'm usually but it smells sweeter.
It is. It's also smokier.
Okay. It smells smoky and sweet. It's like a good barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it's I think it's roasted to a different level, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Did we do this?
Cheers. Yep. So
Cheers.
this is private.
Private.
Awesome. I think it's roasted to a slightly darker degree.
Boom!
Right?
Wow, that really hits you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Yeah. What are you getting? What are you getting? Whoa, hold up.
So this is the reaction that I recall having to Malort in a way. When it just, because my palate, if you will, is very attuned and almost negatively to bitter. And this really hit me there.
You know, I'm getting this really intense honey from it. Super intense honey. Like I just bit into a honeycomb. I really like
I've
it.
never bit into a honeycomb, so I couldn't relate.
I have.
Is it nice?
Yes, it's very pleasant, very soft.
Without the
Tastes like
bees
honey.
on it.
Without the bees, you know, some of them still have larvae in them. You know, but that's just protein.
Okay, you know what? After the first, it's better.
You know, and that's the thing too.
It's like getting into the pool for the first time.
Yeah.
When you first get in, it's shocking, and then it feels good.
Yeah, I mean, this is concentrate.
That's where we
too.
are.
You know, a chef that I work with told me that if you taste anything, you always have to taste it twice before you can form an opinion.
Okay.
Because the first taste is just to get your palate calibrated.
Okay.
And then the second is actually to taste.
Well, we calibrated.
We sure did.
Man.
So yeah, I'm getting honey from it. You getting anything else?
I'm getting a buzz. I like that. That's nice. Ooh, I just got it.
The honey?
I got it.
Yeah.
I had to do that though.
You know, and it's almost like, you ever have buckwheat honey? You ever have buckwheat honey?
No.
Okay, yeah, it tastes like buckwheat honey. It's
I've
got
had-
that really like. It's
I've
almost
had
like
Manuka
molasses.
honey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
It's almost like kind of molassesy.
Yeah,
Like
I can
if someone put a little bit of molasses in honey is what it
So
kinda tastes like.
when we're talking about like what's
just
the
finished
difference? Was I not supposed to?
No. I was usually you're gonna be so buzzed. This is all concentrated.
You know, that was the secret to when I first had your because the first time I ever had your product was at the gym, and they had it at the bar.
Yeah, Hi-Fi.
At Hi-Fi, and that was
That was ready to drink.
that
so
was
already
ready to
delivered,
drink. Yeah. But then I had it at Edge of Sweetness,
And that's concentrate.
Yeah. And the first time she didn't warn me.
Yeah.
And I drank the whole thing, like that.
Yeah.
And I was flying high for about 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I came crashing down in a very unpleasant way.
You weren't in jail, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, that's
but
good.
I might have gotten myself into trouble, but not that much trouble. Yeah, this is interesting. So, what would make the difference? Because if they're both grown there, what would make the difference between these two? Is it the roast, or is it not the bean? Is it?
Well, it could be a lot of different things. I mean, it could be the bean. I did some research on Greenwell, and I saw that they are adding different varietals to their farm.
Yeah.
So they're adding like red bourbon. They're adding Elefante, which is like this really large bean varietal. So it could be that. They don't give you a whole lot of information on the back of the bag. So I don't know for sure, but definitely roast is one of the differences. This is clearly darker roasted than the medium roast, which we can try
let's
next
do it.
and just compare that to it. Another difference also could be like I said, if it's in a private lot, there is a such thing as microclimate on a farm.
Yeah,
So they know
of
if
course.
one spot has a certain
Sure,
microclimate,
yeah.
they could put it there, and that
All
might
right.
make a difference as well.
But so I got you the sampler because you said get the sampler, but you're saying that like because it comes with all the flavored coffees, that's not necessarily great for the Kyoto.
The
style.
flavored coffees, because Kyoto intensifies and really concentrates the extraction.
Sure.
Those oils that they put on there, they can be like really, really off-putting because they're so intense.
Okay.
But if you use that as a base for, like I was saying, a milkshake, the chocolate macadamia nut,
Yeah.
it's a game changer.
Okay.
Absolute game. But drinking it straight up, it's like, have you ever had barrel-aged coffee?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but much more concentrated. It's kind of what Kyoto style does.
Okay.
It's terrible. It's really
Okay.
bad.
Then we don't want to do that.
No. But if you then mix the barrel-aged coffee with a little bit of honey and sparkling water, it tastes exactly like cream soda.
Oh.
So you just kind of have to doctor it up
See,
a
you
little
did
bit.
some of this on my show.
Uh-huh.
What was it? When, was it over the winter that we had you on?
yeah.
And
With the cocktails.
the cocktails, and then he was so meticulous in how he set the whole thing up because everything was perfectly measured out.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was totally Justin, and it was packed nicely in a box. And then I brought it in and I set it all out, and then we had you remote because
Yeah, 'cause of COVID
we
and
still
everything,
we
yeah.
still haven't had in studio guests, but we'll have to have you back. But it just like having the coffee. The only kind of coffee cocktail that I'd had up until that point was like a coffee martini.
Right. Like with espresso, probably.
Right.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
you know what? If I'm a middle-aged mom from Naperville, that's amazing. But you
It's a different level.
you brought it up to a different level, which was really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah. So
One thing I noticed right off the bat is the nose, the aroma of this is much more citrusy.
yeah.
It's
No, I totally taste that.
yeah, that
It's,
lemon is coming through.
It
much
doesn't.
more.
It doesn't. This isn't. So, the reserve hit my tongue and threw me back, and this is not doing that as much. And I don't know if it's because I'm already primed. Is that possible?
I think honestly, it is just a darker, more robust coffee.
Okay.
I think this is the kind of coffee that Grandpa likes. Like when he's talking about, I want a strong cup. Like
Yeah, I want to chew my coffee,
exactly,
youngin.
yeah, right.
Can I want a fork. Fork. For coffee. It's possible.
It's anything's possible with this.
My
coffee.
entire brain is like
You could
jumping
just-
right now.
You just take off the ground right now and just you may very well just fly home. Give me your keys. I'll drive your car back home for you.
You know, I had the nickname of Tigger when I was a kid, so that's possible that I can still jump. So when you tell me when you are selecting a bean to do Kyoto, are you talking about like the different? Because Arabica is like the big bean, right? That's what everyone likes. A lot of people like to grow.
Yeah.
Because it tastes like what we think of coffee being.
Well, I mean, Arabica is considered to be kind of the entry level for what we would call quality or specialty coffee.
You just called me basic. That was very nice of you.
Call me basic without calling me basic, right? So yeah, that would be like just the kind of like entry level idea for
Okay.
getting into specialty coffee.
Sure.
Because you have Arabica and Robusta are the main two kind
Yeah.
of subspecies, and Robusta is what you basically have for like really mass like instant coffee. Whereas Arabica, it just has less caffeine, more flavor, more complexity.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of the starting level. And then from there, there's a whole bunch of things you can do. Like at Greenwell, for example, they handpick, their coffee. That's
Right.
one thing
Yep.
they do. They pay American wages
Yeah.
to for a person to go through
By
a hand
weight,
pick.
I'm told.
Yeah,
By
they
weight.
pay, I think, like probably like 60 cents a pound, something like that. Which, and a person can pick, 400 pounds of coffee in a single go. So, they're not paying slave wages by any means. So
That's nice.
There's a lot that goes into the quality side of it. Obviously taking care of the plant and also creating a environment with complementary shade plants as
Right.
well, because you don't want the coffee to get scorched by the
sure.
sun. So
Yeah.
you need like,
they
depending
had
on where you are.
peppercorn plants there.
Yeah.
And they had avocado and they had mango trees.
Yep.
I'd never seen an avocado growing before.
Yo, the mango trees are dangerous.
How so?
Well, because they have these little frilly things on them that if they get on you, you just break out.
Oh.
You just itch and
Well,
Yeah.
I'll keep that in
Don't
mind.
climb it. You never climb a mango
They never
tree.
told us that.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
sitting there like, oh, look at the little mango.
Yeah, well, I guess no one ever climbs the tree mid tour. It's not like you would just go off and just start climbing a tree. But yeah, if
Unless I've had too much coffee. And let
Yeah,
me tell
exactly.
you, you arrive at Greenwell and they're like, here's all of our coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and have as much as you want.
So did you just take the bus and pick it up and just put it on your back?
Man,
and
I
just
almost
finish the tour.
Man, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I sent you to the right place.
You did, and I appreciate that.
got
Now,
it.
so when you were selecting, again, we'll get back to the original point because why not? When you were selecting a bean and a roast,
Yeah.
What do you look for when you're doing this very specific type of brewing?
I look for something that is, for one, just delicious and well made and interesting. And when I say interesting, it has a flavor that I really don't think people necessarily expect.
Yeah.
When I put together my core blend, my black label, I was just like, I want this to just taste the way coffee smells.
Okay.
I just want it to be chocolate, stout beer notes. Like when you smell coffee, I just want it to taste like that. And once I put that out, I was like, everything else, I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want.
You
Like,
had this one that you gave me last week.
Yeah.
And it tasted like a Fruit Loop.
Oh yeah. That was
Now, what was that?
That was the natural process. So that's basically where the seed gets turned or the fruit gets turned into a raisin with the seed still inside there. So it gets this like super boozy.
Yeah.
Like it tastes like rainbows almost.
I couldn't drink the whole thing, so I brought
Yeah.
it home. I put it in the thing, and then I had it over the course of 3 days. It was
Yeah,
very good.
It's very good, very strong, and just completely unusual.
Yeah.
It almost tastes like sangria.
It was very good. It was, yeah. You were right. It didn't taste like normal
No.
coffee. How do you make sure that it tastes like your black label, like your 9 to 5 kind of brew?
Right.
How do you make sure that tastes the same, and you can repeat the process for quality?
So I just work with Metropolis. They provide me with my blend, and their like QC is just really good. They're very experienced with roasting that coffee. They know that coffee very, very well.
Yeah.
And I actually, funny story, before I left Metropolis, that was one of the components of that coffee. I helped them kind of settle on that coffee for a different client.
Ah.
And then I was like, yo, I want that too.
That's what I want.
Yeah, I want that too. It's a really good.
It's the Justin blend.
Yeah, it's a really
That's
good
what we
coffee.
like to call it.
But then we'll take the edge off of it a little bit because it was kind of it's the darker component
Okay.
of the blend.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we'll soften that up with this Guatemalan. And it worked out well enough that I was able to start a company. So,
All right. Yeah. And he's doing well. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of him.
Thank you.
Like when I first met you, you were in the back of a
Oh, yeah.
bakery.
Yeah, I know.
And now you have your own storefront.
Yeah.
That's
things
pretty
are,
cool.
Things are looking up. Before we bounce out, there's something I want to give you, though, real quick.
I'm excited. Oh, I thought it was going to be the ice cream. That was so good, by
ice
the
cream,
way.
yeah.
What's
Here you go.
this?
Yeah, so this is a Kyoto bag of the Greenwell Reserve. So,
See this, Greenwell? I'm going to have this before I come back. But I hope these guys know what a fan they have in you.
thanks, yeah.
And now of me. So
Yeah, I pulled your coat to something that's
and
really special.
And I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And now you're leaving, and now I have to jitter all over the place because I am caffeinated.
I know. Well, we'll be looking out for you.
All right, Justin, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for
Appreciate
joining
it.
me on the
of
show,
course. And that wraps up
Cool.
our podcast.
And we're back for the addendum.
What's up, addendum?
So we got so carried away in our episode that I totally forgot to ask the question of the day.
Oh,
So yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
What's the question of the day? Ask the audience a question, and they'll answer it. Hopefully.
the question of the day. You're putting me on the spot.
I totally am.
The question of the day.
He's new to TV, guys. Yeah, he's not used to being on camera. or
the
anything, so he's
question
got
of the
jitters.
day. What is
It
there?
could be any question you want. Typically, we talk about something related to either
Coffee.
the episode or coffee.
Okay.
Whatever.
The question of the day is if you had your choice between a coffee from South America or from Hawaii, which would you pick?
Okay.
How
And
about that?
why?
And why?
And why?
There you go. That was a good.
There we go.
That was a good addendum
They're
to the addendum.
very similar to each other. So, pardon me. So we're gonna pour up some beer that Victor
Yeah.
brought in,
Okay.
and I actually don't know anything about these, so I'm just gonna kind of read from the label here.
Ooh,
is-
this smells.
yeah, I can smell it from here. This is called Old School Hawaii Vibes, and it's a Citra and Strata hopped milkshake double India Pale Ale brewed with pineapple, coconut, and vanilla.
I smell the
Ooh.
pineapple.
Victor, thank you so much for this.
Thanks,
Here,
sir.
I'm gonna hand some off camera to Vic. You sure? Yeah, I mean, go on.
Well, we have 3. Here, just get that.
Cheers.
There you go. Looks
Yeah.
good. All right.
Wow, the pineapple's really.
Wow, that's. Yeah. I don't usually like an IPA in this one. Because, again, the bitter. But this one's good. I like because of the pineapple notes, man.
Yeah, it's got the
That's
pineapple.
good. Yeah.
So, sorry, I'm gonna drag you into the episode because I don't know anything about milkshake double IPAs. Like, what makes it a milkshake?
It brings all the boys to the yard.
And it brings the boys to the yard.
Here we are.
We're here. We totally are here. Yeah. So yeah, so that I guess the lactic acid gives it that sort of the lactose is.
No.
Okay, so they actually add like the sugar, the milk sugar, because I'm getting this real creaminess from it.
Oh, yeah.
It's super. It's almost like eating a cake.
I'm going to be impossible, by the way, this afternoon. And
You totally are.
tonight's.
You're gonna be so funny.
I should lock myself into my room as to not tick too many people off.
And then speaking of something that tastes like cake.
This looks like a Guinness almost, man. This is a brew that I can chew.
Yeah, this is a bourbon barrel.
You need a fork for this.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is-
you definitely need a fork
This
for
is
this.
their cake in barrel-aged stout form.
So they have a cake.
Yes,
Moody
12
Tongue has a 12-layer cake. He showed me the picture.
It looks
Can
phenomenal.
we edit the picture in right now?
It's already up. It's
Picture.
already up. And this is
like drinking the cake.
also 16% alcohol by volume, so this will get
Wow.
you drunk. This will get you.
Well,
very,
I better.
very
You know
there.
what? Let me just dial up that Uber now.
Wow! Holy smokes! You know what this smells like to me? You need a fork?
That's like the Hungry Man version of a TV. You know when you have the TV dinner and then you have the Hungry Man version of the TV dinner? This is the Hungry Man. This is you give this to the Hungry Man or woman or person. The hungry person. The hungry person
hungry
meal.
individual. This smells like shochu to me.
There are quite do they have chunks of cake in here? There are chunks in this.
I heard of a brewery that was doing that very thing. They were actually putting cake in the mash. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
This is very much like going to Portillo's and getting the cake shake.
Whoa!
There are
Holy smokes!
yeah. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what this is.
I mean, it's like the Bourbon County Stout, but not as like the Bourbon County Stout's really put together and like really refined, and this is like that, but just like the drunk cousin of that.
Are you
just
talking
kicking
right
the
now?
door.
I see your mouth moving,
Yeah,
but I don't
right?
hear any words. This is
It's like
I need to
you might see little green.
I need
men.
to sit down. Well, the purple ones are over there, but I
Yeah,
don't see any
they're
green
chill.
ones.
They've been here all day. but
Oh. Hi.
They
This is
they're well behaved.
there are pieces of things in this cup. This is do you have any chunks?
I think those are called bubbles.
No, there's like literal hold on. See?
Oh yeah, you're right. Holy
yeah.
smokes!
Yeah, see?
Whoa!
See?
Holy shit!
See?
Yeah. No, he's not lying, folks. There is.
You almost did a swear. You almost did a swear.
We can curse on here. Shit. We can curse here.
I can't. There's something about having a camera in front of me
You can
and
curse
doing
on
this for
camera.
25 years.
Yeah.
I can't say.
I notoriously have a pretty foul mouth,
Mm-hmm.
so whenever I'm on
Yeah.
TV, I'm always like, "Don't do it, Justin.
Don't
Don't
do it.
Don't do it."
Don't do that stuff.
Yo, Vic, are you getting that shochu note off this?
I've never had shochu.
Oh, word.
Did you see the chunks? Do you have chunks? Am I the only one with chunks?
You're the only one chunks. It might be because I poured you up last,
Oh.
and yeah, the bottle is full of
Chunks.
chunks, just like wine.
All right.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's unfiltered.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. If it's
Oh.
filtered, then we have an issue.
And it's vintage. So yeah.
It's vintage.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. 2017. It's vintage, bro. So yeah.
What's the difference between old and vintage? I don't know.
Well, whatever it is at the bottom of your cup, I think.
Yeah. The question of the day, again, is if you had a choice between South American and Hawaii coffee, which do you choose?
And why?
And why?
Thanks for tuning in. We're going to get lit off camera and make our significant
Cheers to
others question their decisions.
Like that's never happened before.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, cool.
Is there like a theme song?
He puts
The
music in.
Sultan of slow drip.
Croon it in.
It's Sultan of slow drip. It's Justin Show.
We're going to use this as the
Ladies
outro.
and gentlemen, it's Justin Doggett.